your referee in charge of the action when the cage door closes, Mr. Basil Bam Bam Majub.
So Basil with his first action of the night in the Battle of the Tonys. Anthony Lewis, Tony Hernandez, fight number 5 from AKA 45. Here we go.
T kick from Tony Hernandez. Hard low kick, finds its target. Cuts through the thigh. Chin riding a little high there. Tony Lewis picks him off with a jab. Another right hand.
Well, the stature difference is obvious, so is the reach. You can see it's going to be a big advantage here for Lewis.
Tony checks the kick. I guess they're both Tony.
Yeah, that was a good right kick there from Anthony Lewis. Got some pop on it.
Hernandez scrappy, there's no doubt about it, but right now having a hard time overcoming the length. Checking the kicks though, interestingly enough.
Yeah, he does seem to see those coming. Lewis with a teep up the middle. Hernandez fires back.
And the only reason I make something of that is just the compound is more of these guys, they come in boxing stances, and that's what makes it more difficult for them to check kicks. So it's impressive to me that Hernandez lifting that leg, checking the kick. Sharp, didn't check that one.
No, that one landed flush, so did that one.
Switches the stance.
Lewis is starting to add him up for a moment. A couple shots to the body for Hernandez land.
Swiping left hook.
Yeah, that lead left hook seems to be a weapon for Lewis. He had a nice one early on in the round.
Hernandez, I mean, what stance is he fighting from? It just all becomes one as they start trading.
Interesting kick there from Lewis. Hernandez with a right hand over the top.
Both guys trade wild punches there.
Wild sequence ends round number 1.
Got to be honest, that's kind of a hard round to judge. I think Lewis was doing a good job early on keeping Hernandez at range, but as the fight went on, the sequences kind of jammed together a little bit and became a little more wild.
There was a nice sequence in there somewhere from Lewis where he threw the low kick and followed it up with a right hand that looked really good. For me, that was the biggest moment of the fight, but there's a pretty good kick to the body from Hernandez.
Checking the kicks. Hernandez just has a pretty balanced set to him, so much so that it's like he's not even standing in a stance. He's kind of constantly in between switching his feet, and to be honest, it doesn't look that terrible.
Yeah, he's fluid with his movement for sure. Definitely seems to be comfortable out there changing stances. Here we go with round number 2. Hernandez seems to be coming out with some urgency.
This is better work by Lewis, keeping Hernandez at the end of his punches, kicking. Good inside low kick from Tony Hernandez. Works his way in. Sharp right hand from Lewis.
.30 seconds off the clock here in round number 2. Good kick to the body from Lewis. Hernandez fires right back.
Hernandez with a jumping knee. I'm not sure that's exactly how he envisioned that going.
No, he's got to be careful with that. The last time he came jumping in there like that, Lewis caught him in the very end of round number 1.
Nice little soft legs there from Tony Hernandez. Just kind of dips under the punch and launches a right hand. Sharp jab. Tony Lewis needs more of this, just staying at the end of that jab, keeping his range.
Well, especially when you have such a reach advantage, you got to use it to your advantage. We've seen it happen at times for Lewis. Hernandez shakes that off. Final 15 seconds of round number 2. That teep just missed the mark for Lewis. Much quieter finish to round number 2 than we had in round number 1. But you talked about it early on. It felt like Lewis was doing a better job using his reach advantage.
He sure was, and Tony still had some good moments, made some stuff ugly in there, landed some stuff, but I just don't know if it was enough to eke out the round for him. Of course, all night I've had no idea what was going on with the kickboxing scorecards. Maybe I don't know what the rule set is.
Well, the only one that's really stood out to us was obviously that draw back in the first fight of the evening. We'll see what the judges think about this one. Pretty close fight so far through 2 rounds. One thing we've seen Lewis do well a couple of times is follow up the kick with a good punch. Set for round number 3, Hernandez and Lewis.
Right hand to open it up for Tony Lewis, jab to the body.
Lewis looking for a big kick upstairs.
It came close, might have even connected, but didn't shake Tony Hernandez for a second.
Yeah, a glancing blow from Lewis. Lost his footing in the process. Now we're right back into these wild exchanges. There's a right hand from Hernandez that lands.
Another skips off the shoulder of Tony Lewis. Nice body shot there from Hernandez.
When they get inside and it gets a little bit dirty, that's when Hernandez is having his best moments.
That's all of Tony Hernandez's most successful times is in those, yes, kind of funky exchanges where he's looping these punches around the guard. Not the clean work, though. The clean work has leaned in the favor of Tony Lewis.
No doubt about that. Final minute left to decide a winner. All of our fights have gone the distance so far. That's a quite to the take 2. That is to the contrary of what we had last week when it was finish after finish after finish.
Last event was wild. I couldn't believe all the finishes just cranking out. And you just never know what these cards are going to become. These were more difficult ones to match just because a lot of kickboxing, there's not a lot of film on these guys. And then here these are super competitive. Whereas the last matchups, which I viewed as being more competitive, a lot of finishes. And I suppose 2 things can be true at once.
That's right. That's absolutely correct. Some good moments here for Hernandez in this 3rd round. You can hear the crowd saying, "Let's go, Tony," but I'm not sure who that's for necessarily.
Right.
So the battle of the Tonys goes the distance.
Competitive.
Will it be Anthony Lewis or Anthony Hernandez who comes out on top? One would seem to think it was probably Anthony Lewis. Felt like he had the cleaner work, especially in rounds 1 and 2. I will say I felt like Hernandez found some better moments in round number 3, though, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. It seemed like most of the rounds would start the same with good progress from Anthony Lewis, and then as the round progressed, it became a little uglier, and then Tony would find his moments in those more chaotic exchanges. Good stuff by both men. Not bad for a debutante.
Well, especially for Lewis, you take this fight on short notice, and that's always an interesting situation when you're just finding out you don't know much about your opponent. You're kind of going in there blind to a degree, and Anthony Lewis definitely stepped up and showed out here on short notice, but we'll see what the judges think about it. Dynamite has the card, and he's headed into the cage with your result.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of punching and a kicking here in the AKA Kickboxing division, we are going to the judges' scorecard. All three judges have seen this bout the same way, therefore declaring your winner by unanimous decision. Fighting out of the red corner, Anthony Lewis.
So it is Anthony Lewis who has his hand raised. A unanimous decision victory over Tony Hernandez. And the Battle of the Tonys goes to Crazy Tony. Pretty good work overall there for Anthony Lewis.
I agree. Tough fight. Both guys competitive. I think both guys learned a lot tonight. Good stuff. Let's see some MMA. God bless America.
That's what the fans are here for, is the mixed martial arts. And we're going to close the book on the kickboxing. Some really good kickboxing there. 5 fights. All of them went the distance. But now we move to the MMA portion of our card.
What's up, AKA Fight fans? This is your boy Drew, and we are back here at AKA 45 with our next winner of the night, Mr. Anthony Lewis. Congratulations on an awesome fight. So what does this put your record at now?
Kickboxing, it's at 2-1, and then my MMA record is still 1-1.
Okay. So now what's next for you?
I'd like to get another MMA fight really soon, but I'm down for whatever they throw at me.
Okay. Now, during the fight, was there any point during the fight that you kind of felt the momentum shifting into your favor? Walk us through it a little bit and kind of where you felt that shift, if so.
Yeah. He really wanted that overhand on me. I felt it a couple times. Didn't feel that hard. My friends at home throw him way harder than that. I mean, no offense to him, but my friends try to kill me every week. So I was like, oh, if I can take that, I'm pretty sure I can, take this all 3 rounds, outpace him. I got really good cardio. So I was like, if I can just keep this up 3 rounds, it's going to be a unanimous decision. No problem.
All right. Well, now, and what about the experience fighting for AKA? How was the experience for you?
Man, y'all been really great and really nice to me. I just want to say, I took this on a 2-day notice. I got messaged Wednesday afternoon, and I don't know what I was thinking. I was just like, yeah, let's do it. I don't have anything coming in the future besides like a jiu-jitsu tournament. I'm like, let's do it. Weekend out, Shreveport. I've never been to Louisiana, and it's been really fun out here. I want to come again.
All right, Miss Amber, you heard that, huh? Now, one thing that we always like to do before we wrap these things up is we always like to give you guys an opportunity to thank those that help you get to fight night. Because while you may be in there one-on-one, it does take a team to get you there. So go ahead and thank them up, man.
Okay, first of all, none of this would be possible if it weren't for God, guiding me through this whole thing. I want to thank all my friends and family for coming out, and my beautiful girlfriend, Caitlin, love you. I also want to thank my team, Ethos, back at home, best gym in East Texas. I've been with them for about 6 years now, I think. Without them, I'd be nothing. So.
All right, well, guys, that's it for us here at AKA 45 with our next winner of the night, Mr. Anthony Lewis. Congratulations, and we look forward to lots more from you. That's it for us, guys. Until the next one.